Dr. Giles, one thing that we have noticed with products on the market today is that there's not a specific focus on the actual formulations. Can you talk a little bit about the philosophy of creating the polite line and the targeted effects in addition to the cannabinoid and herbal ratios?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, various cannabinoid ratios have been, again, researched to be more supportive for various symptoms or conditions. And whenever people ask me, oh, what's the best ratio for this? The answer is always, it depends. So we tried to be very thoughtful about the best ratios of major and minor cannabinoids within the formulations, as well as using supportive botanical or herbal drivers. Something many people don't know is that other botanicals, other herbs, and other things in the natural world target the endocannabinoid system. So there's often synergy between various herbs and the cannabinoids for supporting each other and boosting the effectiveness, somewhat similar to the entourage effect of cannabinoids and terpenes, but with other herbs. We try to be very thoughtful about using herbs or botanicals that target various symptoms or conditions and are supportive to the cannabinoids in the various ratios we used. Another thing we utilize is volatile oils, or a lot of herbs that contain volatile oils, also known as essential oils when distilled. And those help to target the botanicals into the cells. It allows them to cross the membrane more effectively. So essentially, using all of this, you need less or fewer cannabinoids. You don't need such high of a dose because they're all working together in harmony.
Wonderful. Thank you for that introduction to how these formulations started. Another question that we get often is, why is your THC level so low? And why do you have other cannabinoids like CBG and CBD so high? And for us, we're familiar with the interaction between CBG and THC, but could you explain that just a little bit further for anyone who may be interested?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of this gets complicated with neurochemistry, but at the receptor level, CBD and THC somewhat oppose each other. So the ratio is very important because you don't want one to dominate. And they're all doing a little bit different things. They're all working better together. And when we're talking about medically oriented products in general, more THC often is not better. Again, the answer is always it depends. It depends on what you're targeting. But for the most part, for medical use, a lot of THC is generally, if not harmful, not usually the most helpful. And again, with CBD, it can oppose that.
Wonderful, thank you. And I think another thing important to note is that a lot of research that is being done on THC, and it does point to efficacy, but there's a lack of research on the new emerging cannabinoids. So I know one thing that we have conversed quite a bit about is that cannabinoids like CBG can work very similarly to THC without causing that psychotropic high. So to have higher levels of CBG sometimes is more effective than higher levels of THC. So I appreciate your input on that. Dr. Giles, in our products we utilize herbs and oils from those herbs. Many questions come through about the safety of ingesting herbs. I know we hear a lot that it's not safe, and in most of these large botanical companies, their labels say not for ingestion. Can you speak to the safety of ingesting some herbs and how we came to choose the herbs and the ratios that we did for patients and clients?
Yeah, so the big concern here is with the essential oil content. So I never recommend people drink essential oils undiluted. It's very dangerous. It can burn tissues. Inhaling them too strongly, again, can have that effect. So any internal use of undiluted essential oils should only be done under medical supervision with somebody who is with your doctor who knows what they're doing and what to recommend. Otherwise, it's very safe as long as the essential oils are diluted in a biocompatible ratio. We consume things that contain high amounts of essential oils all the time, but we're not distilling it and using them in a very strong concentration. That's, again, pharmaceutical grade botanical medicine. It's very concentrated, and we definitely avoid that in our products. We only use essential oils that are intended for internal use. Again, don't have pesticides or solvents or other things that are not essential oils, and they're diluted in a ratio or in a way that it is biocompatible, that it's similar to what you would find in the herb itself or in a spice, something like that. So it's absolutely safe, it's very effective, but we're very intentional about how much is in there.
And I think that key word is so important, intentional. Intentional ratios, intentional herbs that were chosen to really give the consumer the most effective product at low doses as possible. So thank you so much for your insight and for sharing with everyone our thoughts behind the polite line.